Hello and welcome to ACS Industry Insights, a series that features some of ICT's most respected leaders, exploring innovation, challenges and opportunities in the constantly evolving tech world and the pace and impact of digital disruption and transformation. My name is Anthony Wong, the immediate past president of the ACS. These interviews have been designed to allow you, ACS members and our viewers, to submit your questions and have them answered by our experts. Please send your questions through Twitter, Facebook Live feed, YouTube or Periscope, remembering to use hashtag ACSLive. Our 10th industry leader is Kumar Parakala, Global Digital Leader, GHD. As Global Digital Leader at GHD, Kumar helps clients reimagine their future in the digital era. Kumar says the ground rules and assumptions that businesses previously relied upon are no longer valid. Digital technologies are transforming the way products and services are created, distributed, and consumed. Thanks to our deep understanding of infrastructure assets, business processes, and technology, Kumar believes we and they have the capability to help clients reimagine and define their digital futures through new customer engagement models, products, business models, work definitions, and organization structures. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for joining us, and a warm welcome to you, Kumar.
Thank you, Anthony. It's a pleasure. It's great to participate in this forum with ACS. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us today, Kumar. We go back a very long time, but I'd like to get your views to share with us your rich history guiding digital transformation in the public and the private sectors with our audience today, please.
Sure, Anthony. You and I have known each other for almost 2 decades, and it's been an incredible journey that I have gone through. I have worked for a Big Four firm for nearly 15 years as a management consulting, in a technology advisory role, working with large global corporations, and being in the forefront of delivering technology solutions. In my previous role, I never realized the impact of digital disruption and the new technologies that are making such a profound impact on our work and our lives, and in fact on the society. So soon after I finished up with KPMG in 2015, I started my own agency, a digital transformation agency. And the more I've worked, the last 3 to 4 or 5 years, I've realized that digital transformation is all about changing the way businesses operate, leveraging new technologies, new business models, internet, and new ways of thinking. So as far as my own experience is concerned, I've worked for now 4 years helping organizations understand what digital transformation means. And it is quite different to what people have always traditionally believed. And that is the fascinating part of the 4th industrial revolution and digital transformation.
And Kumar, you had been a past president of the ACS, and I could say to credit you with one of the people who started the ACS digital transformation journey to today. So Kumar, my second question, more related to GHD. GHD, one might think of as a traditional engineering services company, but GHD's vision is to be an industry leader in client service. Can you share with our audience a little about that vision and the critical role you play in leading GHD Digital?
Sure. Anthony. Yes, one can say GHD is traditional because we have been in existence for more than 90 years. In fact, this year we are celebrating our 90th birthday. We are having 10,000 people around the world. GHD is a great Australian success story. We are a global business with 10,000 people, $2 billion in revenue. However, the industry which we are in can be considered traditional, but the business that we are in has to go through many, many changes over the last 90 years to be the industry leader, what it is today. The digital transformation journey that GHD is going through is the next iteration of change which our great firm is going through. And it is number one priority for our leadership team led by our chairman and the CEO. And our vision is to not only help our clients transform their businesses, but in the process transform our own business. The approach we take, we call that approach the two sides of the coin. The two sides of the coin approach which we have taken for digital transformation is the transformation of our clients and the transformation of our business are not disconnected. They are just two sides of the coin. They have to go hand in hand. And our board and the executive team are a strong belief. So we are working harder at transforming ourselves as a business, as we are also working hard to transform our clients' businesses. My role is to help our clients. We have a business of 500 people around the world who provide digital services to help our clients deal with digital disruption and also be a catalyst in the internal transformation of our business.
Kumar, I must congratulate you for this very important role. It sounds like not only you have an external role, but also as an internal role to help GHD make that huge transformation from a traditional base to a new digital framework. In your role, Kumar, it's a third question. In your role, you would see many organizations, including yours, prioritizing digital transformation as a key of business success. What challenges do you see, Kumar, most often that organizations are grappling with?
Sure, Anthony, it's a very, very good question that you have asked. And I have, in the last 12 to 18 months, met with at least 70 to 80 CEOs and many of their executive team members as well, who are responsible for transformation of their businesses. The first biggest barrier challenge that organizations that I've engaged with at a global scale is the conventional mindset. And the conventional mindset is that we are always trained to think in a certain way, and we actually spend 20 to 30 to 40 years in that mindset because that mindset has allowed us to be very successful. What digital is doing is it is challenging the conventional mindsets to take a beginner's mindset. So we have to start thinking about our world in a completely different, in a completely new way. And that is very, very challenging because to change the mindsets takes time and it takes a lot of self-awareness for people to go through. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge which I'm seeing in terms of digital transformation. So for me, digital transformation is same as business transformation, which is same as cultural transformation. So the second challenge I'm seeing is what I call the leadership skills obsolescence. The skills of many of the leaders of the organizations that they have been leading for a long time have become obsolete. So many organizations are unable to make progress because the top two layers or top three layers really don't know how to reposition their business in the digital era. And they're bringing in consultants, they're bringing in technologies, they're bringing all sorts of people, but that is the challenge, the lack of internal capability. The third biggest barrier is, especially the large businesses, they operate in silos. And the silo mentality stops the business from looking at the overall picture and the overall perspective. And those silos actually prevent any progress, any transformation, any change, any out-of-the-box thinking. So that's the third challenge that I am frequently seeing in the organizations that I'm interacting, I'm engaged with. The fourth and most obvious one is lack of budget. This is one of the most transformative times of recent history. Digital is not just a project. Digital transformation is just not a project. It is fundamentally rethinking how one runs their business. So the investment often does not match the aspiration. So that's the fourth challenge. Many organizations, some of them who are doing well, they don't have the right priority assigned to digital transformation. There's no sense of urgency because they're doing well, there's money coming in. So that's the next issue, lack of prioritization and having urgency attached to it, not knowing that we can make money this year, maybe next year, but then our industry could be disrupted, and that we have seen, there are many examples where I've seen that happen, across the board. And last but not least, very important, culture. Many leaders, many organizations are unable to change the culture to suit what digital transformation needs.
Kumar, you just took me down a memory lane. Observing you speaking about all these factors that you've considered, it sounds like a lot of those we have worked on in the ACS, and particularly about consciousness of leaders, about being able to take them and the organization forward to the next 21st century. My next question now is particularly around culture. From your experience in your private sector, as well as in the experience with ACS and the government sector, is there a specific organization culture you believe that is required to get the most out of transformation projects? And particularly, who should be responsible for driving the innovation and the transformation?
Excellent questions again. And as the need for transformation and change has moved up the value chain, the needing to change and needing to transform now has become a question of business survival. If the business needs to survive, thrive, and grow, it needs to change, it needs to transform. Therefore, there is no doubt in my mind that digital transformation, which is same as business transformation, must be the priority of the CEO and the executive team. But the buck stops with the CEO, not the chief digital officer, not the CIO. This is about the whole business. So they all have an important role to play, but CEOs must take responsibility for it. In terms of do we need to have the right culture? Absolutely. Not only do we need to have the right culture, but we need to take sufficient time to define exactly what kind of culture we want to create. Culture is predominantly the beliefs and the ways of working, and the ways in which organizational behaviors manifest is what culture is. So one has to take a very deliberate approach to saying, these are the ways of working, this is the way I want people to behave, and this is what I'm going to measure to create that culture. Extremely important for digital transformation.
And Kumar, my next question more to do with companies. We've seen lots of references in newspapers, television, commentary, that every company is a technology company today. In your global role, what are some of the trends that you are seeing from organizations during this, and what are they doing well and what they're not doing so well?
Yeah, so we have some fantastic examples where they are well advanced on the journey of digital transformation. And most of the digital transformation journeys that have worked well have started from what I call the outside-in approach. And the outside-in approach is everything begins with your customer, and you then work backwards, either it's a client or a customer. compared to an inside-out approach where you define a product, you define a service, and you deliver to the customers, and you sell till they buy. Whereas the outside-in approach is you work with your customers, you understand what their challenges are, then you co-create the solutions that will help them address those challenges. In that process, you create a mutually beneficial value proposition. So successful digital transformation organizations to date have the customer as the centerpiece of that endeavor, outside-in approach. The other good practice that I have seen is organizations that have been successful. It always starts at the top. It can't be driven by middle management, and I'm a big fan of all the technologies, but it can't be driven by technologies. They play an important role. This is about business transformation, and so it needs to start at the top. The third thing is, I already spoke about culture change. Fourth thing is, I believe, very important to reskill and upskill people at all levels, not at the mid-management, not at delivery level, even at the senior management level. In fact, the need for upskilling and reskilling of the leaders of the business, the top two layers of the organization, plus the board, is greater than ever before in the era of digital transformation. So these are some of the things which I have seen organizations who have done well have achieved great progress, and those who haven't got their, if I can use the Australian words, didn't get their act together at the top, they're struggling.
Thank you, Kumar. We'll now go to a short break, and when we return, we'll look to take a few questions that have been submitted through Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope using hashtag ACS Live. If you haven't yet submitted your question, take advantage of the break to do so.
Our next generation superheroes will be those embracing technology by being brave and being bold. They'll be solving cybercrime, homelessness, and Alzheimer's, assuring our national security, our energy supply, and saving lives. Superheroes will be the thinkers, the dreamers, the visionaries, and the revolutionaries. Our vision is for Australia to be a world leader in technology talent, one where every child can change the world.
Thank you, and welcome back to the ACS Industry Insights. We've got a couple questions from our audience. Our very first question is from Ashraf on YouTube. What's the difference, Kumar, between your role as a global digital leader and the traditional role of a CIO?
Great, that's a fantastic question. So my focus is not as much on internal systems. We have a fantastic CIO at GHD, and her focus is to make sure that our IT infrastructure, our internal corporate systems, and other internal systems that we need to function as a business are operating. My role is external role, facing clients and helping them understand their challenges, helping them navigate through digital disruption. But at the same time, take an outside-in approach to bring some of those client expectations and client work practices back into our organization that ultimately becomes a catalyst for our own change.
Thank you, Kumar. Our next question is from Thomas from YouTube. The questions ask whether we should retrain our leaders to learn more about technology. That's assuming they are not already technologists, to remove the silos from the business.
Absolutely. In fact, all leaders should get trained in the basics of what digital transformation is and what the impact of digital disruption is going to do to their business. So the leadership training in digital disruption, digital transformation, I consider as a mandatory for every single leader who is leading a business.
The next question is a very futuristic, interesting question. It comes from Parames on YouTube. He asks, what role will AI play in digital transformation? Will we have robotic AI leaders in our future? What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, so I don't know about leaders, but AI will play a very dominant role in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years. I've had an opportunity to look at the power of AI and advanced analytics and robotics. So it's a combination of technologies such as data analytics, advanced analytics, AI, and robotics, which will fundamentally change the way organizations work. For example, in our own business, our engineers, we got 10,000 engineers and scientists around the world, they will be moving up the value chain because the basic work that our engineers and our scientists are doing will be done by the machines. We have got no doubt about it in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. So I don't know about leaders. I think we would still have a significant need for leaders who take a human-centric approach to serving the society, serving the business, and serving the people. That can never be fulfilled by machines, but machines are going to play a more dominant role, and some of the basic work that we do right now will disappear undoubtedly in 5 years, but new roles will come up.
Thank you. Thank you for submitting your questions. We will ask Kumar a couple more questions that we've taken from our audience. Kumar, the next question is talking from your experience as a global leader. Which countries do you believe are faring well in their digital transformation journeys, and what are they doing well in relation to policy and creating an environment for organization, government, education, research to be successful?
Absolutely. So that's a great question, Anthony, and I often think about it because national success often culminates into business success, and business success culminates into professional and individual success. So for me, I've taken the Harvard Business Review model, which was published last year. There are 4 types of countries as far as digital maturity is concerned. The first category, I call them the standout category, and countries like Singapore, UAE, neighbor New Zealand, UK and USA, and to a certain degree Germany fall into the standout category. They're highly advanced digitally, these countries, and they're maintaining a great pace and great momentum. The second category is stall out. Stall out countries they have a high state of digital advancement, but they are slowing down. These countries are many European countries like Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, Finland, so on and so forth. But very interestingly, Australia is becoming a stall-out country. The third type of country, the third range of countries are breakout countries who have a very low level of digitization, but they are making tremendous, amazing progress. And these are the countries that we need to be very aware of and cognizant. These countries are China, India, Malaysia, Bolivia, Kenya, Russia, some of them name it. And the last category are watch-out countries that are low digitization and going nowhere. And again, there are a few countries that fall into this. The countries that are doing very well, and I would consider them to be countries, I'll consider them to be the breakout countries, are the ones who are setting the right policy. The role of the government is to set the right policy so that the business can work and leverage that policy to build businesses. The challenge which we have in countries like Australia is that for a very long time, and Anthony, you as the chairman and during my days as the president of ACS, we have constantly debated. We as a nation lack a vision for where we want to be in the digital world. We lack a vision, we lack a strategic vision for the nation. So we need that vision to make a difference, because Australia is a great country with very talented people, and we can make a huge difference. But if we don't have the vision, we will never get there.
Well, the ACS, you know, Kumar, we are doing our part into the innovation space, contributing to creating digital skills and growth. Our latest edition of the Australian Digital Pulse forecasts that we need 100,000 more ICT workers in the next 5 years just to sustain our current standards and our current growth. But it to say that we need an additional 100,000 to keep growing at the rate that we need to. Kumar, what appears to be a new war for talent that we're currently facing? The big shift, do we foresee in human capital that we have to compete in this global space to get the best talent for us and for Australia?
Absolutely. We have to grow our talent, and we will be competing in a global market. In fact, we have done that for the last 15, 20, 30 years. The interesting part of this skill gap that we are observing, Anthony, is that there could be a loss of jobs close to $500,000 in Australia in the next 5 years. And there may be an equal number of new jobs that may be needed to support the digital transformation journeys that various organizations are going through. What we haven't done in Australia from a national perspective, or even from a business by business perspective, and we can see some of our large businesses who are going through change are actually reducing their workforce. They're hiring new kinds of talent, but they are also reducing their workforce, and you can see that in the media, is that we haven't put we haven't aligned the left side to the right side. We are letting people go, but we need talent. So what we need is a plan where we can say, we need 500,000 people in 5 years, new type of skills. We are going to have 500,000 people who may not be in the jobs. How do we reskill and upskill? How do we reskill and upskill these people to fill that gap? I don't think nationally we are thinking about it, and neither are we thinking about it from a business point of view. And that is going to be our biggest challenge going forward.
Thank you for that, Kumar. The future of work is another hot topic that we're currently confronting. The concept of a gig economy comes to mind. Where do you see traditional permanent roles versus contracts and gigs in our future and our future planning for our workforce?
So there is going to be a huge change, and it would give people a lot of flexibility in terms of the careers they want to choose. The future will also give a lot of flexibility in terms of where people want to work from and how much they want to work. And it will also, that is, the benefits are not only provided to employees, but employers will also have tremendous amount of flexibility. The future predominant workforce is going to be the on-demand workforce. And what that means is you will have people work with organizations on a contractor basis, on-demand basis. The permanent skilled workforce will come down significantly, and because the business issues and the client issues that one is going to deal as a business will quite rapidly change. And what that means is you need to be able to change your workforce at the pace at which those issues are changing. And what that means is you need to have access to the talent pool. We already have some good examples of how that works with examples like Freelancer and a few others. But those platforms will play a very important role in the way people live and the way they work.
Kumar, thank you for that. Do you have any advice for our audience when we look at the skill sets for the future in the light of what you painted? What steps can our technology professionals and workers take to stay relevant?
Yes, this is a question, in fact, everyone should ask, just not the technology, but in fact, every senior manager, every professional who's going through, who knows the industry is going through disruption, and very importantly, our members, ACS members, your members should ask those questions. I think I would say the skills that one needs to acquire will change very frequently. And you may have to, one may have to go through rapid training to learn those technical skills. But there are other skills, there are human skills that one needs to build as a professional. The need for those human skills will be greater than ever before. So some of those human skills that one should train, whether they are a technology professional or not, if they want to continue to be employed and have a promising career, is The skill number one is look for a higher purpose. They need to just not turn up for work just because it's just paying bills. They need to look at what are they doing? What are they doing for the community? What are they doing for the business? What are they doing for themselves? How are they making a contribution to the society? The second most important aspect is thinking outside the box. Days are truly over now for those who just want to come in and just do prescriptive works and then go home. Thinking outside the box and being agile is becoming a very, very sought-after skill. The third skill, again, this is a human skill. This is not a technical skill, but it makes technologists and everybody else very successful, is building relationships. Human-centric relationships will still be very important, no matter how dominant the use of technology becomes. So I would say for technologists to be more relevant in the business, in the changing business world, in the digital era, they need to learn how to build relationships. The fourth aspect is commit to lifelong learning. I mean, ACS has got fantastic suite of training programs. And we have to learn. There is no amount of knowledge that is adequate. And unless one has this hunger for knowledge, their success in the digital world, the new digital world that is emerging, will be difficult. And last but not least, I would suggest we all need to have a fair bit of resilience, because it will be challenging, it will be rewarding, but mental resilience is going to play a very, very important role because of the change that we as professionals and the future generations have to endure. So therefore, never give up in the digital era. It will be challenging, but it will be very rewarding as well.
Thank you, Kumar. I think you've touched on two very important points in that last two sentences about resilience and the need to ongoing continual education. So I think those are two important tips for our audience. Our next question relates more to about Australia. What should Australia be doing to secure more overseas business? And how does that translate to more jobs for Australians?
We have a tremendous workforce. I think our workforce is, I've now seen this in the last 20 years. We are very innovative. We can get things done. We have a great talent pool, and our culture is fantastic. But the challenge is we don't go and market ourselves. When I work with global organizations from the US, from UK, from European countries, they are extremely good in promoting how good they are. We shy away from telling everyone how good we are. And often we believe that we need to go to Silicon Valley to be successful because we have a culture here where we can't really say how good we are. So we need to first tell the world how good we are in the areas that we believe we are good. We know we got strengths. The second thing to attract, so unless people know what we can do, they will never come to us. The second thing is the government needs to set a vision where it wants to take our nation in the next 5 to 10 years. And the business needs to then take that vision and make sure that it is helping that national vision translate into action, whether it is education, whether it is skills, whatever it is. If the government is not doing, then business should do it. So we need to have a vision and we need to have a plan to get there. Countries that have been really successful in this space are the ones who have had a long-term vision, who've got very focused action, and they have got it. So if we can deal with these 2 or 3 things, Anthony, how good Australia is and how fantastic our people are will become more evident.
Thank you, Kumar. I hope some of our politicians are watching as we move to the new election next year. So this is a very important topic, and thank you for that. So for now, we'll take a very short break, but take this opportunity to ask more questions. Remember to submit your questions through Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope using hashtag ACS Live.
Our next generation superheroes will be those embracing technology by being brave and being bold. They'll be solving cybercrime, homelessness and Alzheimer's, assuring our national security, our energy supply, and saving lives. Superheroes will be the thinkers, the dreamers, the visionaries, and the revolutionaries. Our vision is for Australia to be a world leader in technology talent, one where every child can change the world.
Welcome back to ACS Insights. From Sanjeev on YouTube, he asked a question, Kumar. Some organizations tend to resist change. How can we help them on that journey on digital transformation?
Yes, I think resistance to change is a very obvious human behavior and a very obvious reaction. And I think what we need to do is articulate the case for change very well and advocate that case for change in an effective manner. It may not just be writing a document and going and talking to people. There may be multiple ways in which you can advocate for change. But also in every organization, people look up to the leaders, to the managers who are managing large workforce, to the CEO, to the executive team. They need to be brought into the process of agreeing to change and implementing change programs, and everyone should sing from the same hymn sheet.
Thank you. Asfa on YouTube asked another question about what you've just talked about, data analytics and the role it plays in digital transformation. His question, are business leaders really to incorporate data transparency in their businesses?
Yes and no. There is a certain amount of data which businesses would not like to share with others because they believe that that is competitive advantage. But generally, most of the data, 70 to 80% of the data is available. Businesses will be available. The government agencies are available to share the data. I had a very interesting situation where one government agency said to me, they have 100 years of data available, and they are willing to share the data free of cost to anyone who is willing to refine it and provide insights and sell them back to that agency. So there is a lot of organizations who are very willing to give the data. There are very few organizations who are willing to synthesize the data and provide insights. That is where the gold is. The gold is not in raw data. The real gold is in the analytics of that data.
Kumar, this next question I think fits very well with your role in GHD. It's to do with the Internet of Things, smart cities, and the projects that GHD may get involved with. You have IoT devices, you'll be planning smart cities, smart projects. What role do you think and how can we tap into those for the projects you do and others around the world? And how do we tap the data within to create more smart users in our smart cities and environments?
Sure, Anthony. So there has been a significant change in thinking in terms of how infrastructure assets, in terms of how water assets, energy assets, property and building, commercial property and residential property estates, all of those assets are how people are thinking about those assets. So for example, now the new way of describing what needs to be done in the asset or infrastructure space, the words that are used is digital transformation of infrastructure assets. Those are the 3 or 4 words that are used, which was never the case before. So what is happening is these new technologies, whether it's IoT, whether it's data analytics, whether it is 3D printing, whether it's augmented and virtual reality, it is creating new ways of transforming these assets that are in many countries around the world, have got huge investment coming from pension funds and superannuation and others, and the owners of those assets are really worried that their obsolescence, they're becoming outdated, they're coming down in occupancy, they're becoming old, will reflect on the value of that asset. So digital transformation of the assets using IoT and data analytics, all these technologies are aimed at enhancing the value of the asset and ensuring that the return on investment from those assets, which is often ranging from multiple billions of dollars, that return on investment continues to happen. So this is an area of great focus for our clients, and there's a huge opportunity for a range of professionals to get involved in helping digital transformation of infrastructure assets.
Thank you. My final question for you tonight, Kumar. Over the next 3 to 5 years, what do you believe, or make a prediction or two, the greatest technology advances that we'll see and their impact in our world?
Great question, Anthony. And I ask this question myself almost every day. There are lots of really good examples. But then I say to myself, are those great examples good enough to change the way we think, we work, the way in which the society operates? And what is coming very clearly in my mind is artificial intelligence and robotics. Those are the two areas that will have the biggest impact in the next 3 to 5 years. And the application of these technologies will multiply exponentially in the next 12 to 24 months. Already there are lots of trials going on, and we will see very tangible impact. I think we should watch out these two spaces, two areas of technology, and look at how we can leverage these technologies not only in our businesses, but more importantly, how we can learn, understand, and be ahead of the curve.
Thank you, Kumar, for your time, and on behalf of the ACS and all our viewers, thank you for taking time out to be with us and share your insights with us. So ladies and gentlemen, in the coming days, visit the ACS website to view the full version of this interview. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.